All right, so what we're going to talk about today is for campers. If you got a camper, now I have a 40-foot fifth wheel camper, and it has super slide outs on the kitchen side and the front room side. Now, one day when I walked in the camper after a trip, the fridge, which is over here, was tilted out and leaning against the cabinet. And you can see there's kind of a dent in the door there where it was resting against the cabinet. Now it's not supposed to do that, because if you look up top, there's a little bracket that they build to hold the fridge from being able to tilt out. So I'm studying it and I'm like, what in the world's going on? And I look down here, and there was a gap between the wall and the floor about an inch. I mean, maybe more than an inch, because the floor of the slide out was basically resting on the floor. So the floor had become detached, and I had to open the slide out up, man, take a trim piece down. It really sucked, because that stuff was glued on there and I didn't want to damage it, because you can't ever get parts, you know. So I wanted to be able to reuse it, so I had to heat it with a heat gun, and you know, it was a real pain in the butt. And so heated it up with a heat gun and got the plastic peeled back, and found the existing screw holes. And when they put the screws in, they used drywall screws. What they used like 1-inch drywall screws going into 3/4 inch plywood or particle board. And so there's only like a 1/4 inch of screw engaging with the wall, the 2x4 on the bottom of the wall. And that's not enough to support the weight of the fridge. I mean, this is a residential fridge, and when you're traveling, you know, it's full of food, so it's heavy. And I'm sure that you're aware that there are bumps in the road that you swear made your camper come off the ground. You know, bridge transitions and things like that. You just never really know where it's going to be. So what I learned in that little journey was that that's not an uncommon problem. There are a lot of people who have problems with their floor coming separated. And so I was trying to come up with like a way to support the weight of the fridge, something to put under the floor. And I thought of different things, but I came up with these. And these were $15 for 3 of them on Amazon. And they're like air shims. You would use them, you know, during the construction of something, putting in a window, leveling it. I mean, it says here, windows, doors, cabinets, and appliances. Now, I was a little skeptical, but it was worth a shot. You get 3 of them for $15, and they're not like plastic. I don't know what they're made out of. It's really pretty durable. According to the specs, they're good for 2,500 pounds. And so this was the idea that I came up with, and I think it's a good idea to just take one of these shims. Make sure you ain't got no pokies down here. Slide the shim up underneath here, and we'll pump it up. Oh yeah, it's lifting the floor. Yeah. So if you look right here, where that gap is at, I'll release it. Well, let me pump it up first. Yeah, it's already tight. Let me release it and you can see some of that gap probably go away. Or it come back, I mean. Yeah. Pump it up again. Not gonna get too carried away. I don't want to damage something else, but anyway, that's my solution, and I think it's a good solution. Another idea I had was, you know, like taking a like a clamp, one of those squeeze type clamps, flipping it around, modifying it. Well, they actually make them. You can buy them. They're like a carpenter's arm or something. I can't remember what they're called, but I have a bunch of clamps. I was just going to convert one into being upside down, but then, you know, like if you want it right under the fridge, which I kind of, you know, whenever I actually go to travel, I'll slide that down where it's in the middle of the fridge. Well, if you use that modified clamp or something like that, the fridge is going to be in the way, you know, because it protrudes out past the wall or the floor a little bit. So I'll post a link in the description. This is what they look like. Try to get it up close. Maybe you can see the grain in the material. Of course, you may be familiar with these. This is the first I ever saw of them. I'll post a link in the description. I got them off Amazon, 15 bucks. And I think they'll be a lifesaver. So, carry on.